Well, euthanasia will be legalised in New Zealand, but cannabis won't be, based on the preliminary results of 2 referenda. Let's go live to New Zealand correspondent Jackson Williams. Jackson, talk us through these interesting results.
They are, Tom. 2/3 of New Zealanders voting in favour of legalising assisted dying, but the result in the cannabis referendum was much tighter. 46.1% of voters voted in favour of essentially legalising cannabis for recreational use. 53.1% voting no. This means that cannabis will not be legalised for recreational use here in New Zealand. It is worth stressing these are preliminary results. The final results will not be released until next week. That's because there are still close to 500,000 special votes still to be counted. These are people living overseas who did not vote in their own electorate. But the Justice Minister believes that these preliminary results will stand. What does this mean? It means that voluntary as the voluntary euthanasia referendum is binding, the End of Life Choice Act will come into effect, but not for a year's time. This will allow people suffering a terminal illness with less than 6 months left to live. This will allow them to apply to end their life. Now, New Zealanders are voting on a proposed law that was spearheaded by an MP by the name of David Seymour. He's the leader of the ACT Party. This afternoon he was joined by supporters here in Parliament for the Electoral Commission's announcement. Here is his reaction.
I want to thank the people of New Zealand who have voted resoundingly, nearly 2-1, to make New Zealand a kinder, more compassionate, more humane society. What a great day to be a Kiwi.
So, Tom, voluntary euthanasia will be legalised in New Zealand in a year's time. Recreational cannabis will not be. One of those voting yes, though, was the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, finally revealing how she voted in the cannabis referendum, not wanting to do so earlier, not wanting to reveal how she voted or how she was intending to vote, because she claimed it was a matter for the people of New Zealand and she didn't want to influence their vote. But perhaps if the Prime Minister did divulge her position earlier, perhaps this referendum may have had a different result, given how close this result was.